Hi, this is Tarot Joy with Anne Marie. I'm not Anne Marie, I'm Joe. I'm Anne Marie's guest host this day. Back again. Anne Marie's having technical difficulties, so I'm going to start off with what we need to think about and what is the card. What card should be our main focus at this time? So I just drew one. And what I picked up here was the Ace of Pentacles. And it's right side up. And it looks like a good time for everyone to think more about their health, which is not surprising. Um, it's also an excellent time to look at your diet and to improve it and to exercise and to be health conscious and to overall do physical self-improvement in general health. Exercise is important. Good circulation, and getting out and taking a walk is also good for the mind. I understand that the left-right motion of walking is something that will help you make decisions better if you feel that you're at a crossroads regarding some things. So a walk exercises the left and right hemispheres of the brain, and it helps you make a better decision. It also makes you feel better, a little more calmer and at peace, and more together. So you're also being encouraged to trust in your judgments and to have faith in your own ideas at this time. I guess we can take it that we should persevere with what we're trying
I
to
will
do.
persevere. I think. Are you there,
Oh,
Joseph?
hello, Anne Marie. Is that you?
Hello. I had the
Oh, I hear
problem.
you
It
now.
is me.
Yes.
Yes, I was trying to get in. You know, there's a Google Skype and there's a microwave Skype or microwave Skype,
Oh, I didn't
Microsoft
know
Skype,
that.
and well, one goes right into the top browser as a tab, and then the other one I have a whole new, separate thing. So unfortunately, they got all boggled up. They both wanted different passwords, and hello, I'm in. So
Oh, cool.
how are you, and what did you do on the 4th of July?
I'm great, but I can't see you.
I am calling today.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it's just my face on the screen the whole time, huh? Okay. Oh
That's
dear.
right. Your beautiful
Yeah,
face.
I don't have any visual aids, so any like, pictures to show other than my cards.
Well,
But anyway, just
anything will
discussing the
do.
card of the day and what should be on our minds at this time. And basically, it's about our health. It's taking care of ourselves. It is continuing on with projects, continuing to persevere, and to trust your instincts and judgments. Also, don't be afraid to ask for help from others, your support group, your family, your friends. And this is a time when there'll be support. Thing. They'll do what they can if they can do it, you know. And I think people are looking forward to optimistic times, don't you think, Anne Marie? Oh, did we lose you again? Oh dear.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you barely. Sometimes you just sound just like mosquito static.
Oh my
Sometimes.
goodness. Okay. How
I
about
don't
this?
know
Just
how
a
else to
second. I'll
say it.
take it off.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
Yes,
now?
I can. Yes, I can. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I took it off
Apologize.
of speakerphone.
Yeah. Oh,
Is
yeah.
that any better?
Speakerphone won't come. Yeah. Speakerphone is not good when you're asking.
Okay, so Yeah, so I will say that concerning the 4th of July, and I went insane. There was,
Oh.
I think, a considerable amount of people that I told people on Facebook I felt as if I was in the old West, and the prostitutes were having sex with the cowboys in the streets, and they were shooting their guns off as they were climaxing. That's how I felt. It was going off all around me. People shooting off these bizarrely huge fireworks that should have never been sent off above trees. They
Oh, Lord.
evidently took all the laws away from the fireworks, at least in Iowa. So that was not a good thing. So I was the screaming old lady. I was outside and somebody blew a great big one up above the trees, and all I could think of was all those poor little birds getting
Yeah.
fried. And they were flying in the dark and trying to get away from it, and it was in every direction, north, south, east, and west. So I just remember screaming at the top of my lungs. I said, "Cut it out, jerks!" I felt like the old lady on the porch with the rifle, you know. So, do I think
Yeah.
that the fourth, after the 4th, is going to give us more resolve, more peace? I hope so. I think that schools are going to start again, from what I understand.
Hmm.
I think they're going to have to. I really don't
Well,
think that
if
children.
they're careful, if they're very careful, if they follow instructions, if they do everything they're supposed to do, health-wise, it should be okay. Maybe, you know. But I
Yeah,
think they do have to follow the safeguards. I'm gonna tell you, I sure don't want to catch it, and I don't want to end up, going that way. But I think people are going to discover just simply new ways of getting things off the ground. It's not going to return to the way things were. There's going to be improvement, but there's going to be a difference in the way we do things, and there's going to be some alteration there, and that's to be expected. And that's what I see. That's what the cards reveal in the symbolism in the
right. And
card they drew.
I do
Yeah,
believe that.
it's like yes,
I
things
do.
are going to be good, but it's going to be different than what you thought. But it's a different. What's happened is we've been abruptly thrust into a different era very quickly in a whole new way of doing things, which we weren't really. I mean, it wasn't a gradual thing. It's all of a sudden, boom! Now we have to do this, but it's going to work out as long as we realize we can't go back to the old way of doing things. You know, it will
Right.
it
And
will
I'm
relax over
I'm a
time.
hugger.
It's gonna take some time, though. Yeah.
Right. And so for what I come up with is that this is going to be a time for at least the next 14 weeks where people that are radically passionate about their ideas are
Hmm.
going to continue to be radically possessed about their ideas,
Exactly.
and then it just seems to dissipate, and suddenly everything gets back on balance. What the COVID did was make everybody have an opinion. Everybody always did have an opinion, but I
Oh
think
yeah.
that a lot of people were seeing this as a political thing, and still are. But it seems that until the next 14 weeks, from what I am shown, it's going to continue to be everybody having a radical opinion, masks, no masks, social distancing or no social distancing. But in the
Hmm.
long run, it'll all come out in the wash. And
For
I
sure.
have heard that there are some amazing cures going on in South Africa. And in South Africa, they say that they have postponed the ventilators. They're just putting all kinds of liquids, all kinds of water and liquids in people, and they are filling them full of anticoagulants for clotting. and they're
Oh yes,
keeping
I
them
heard of
away
that.
from
Yeah.
ventilators, and they're getting back on the streets within 2 weeks just from doing liquids and coagulants, whatever you call them. And so that's a wonderful thing, because at least that will keep the beds free, and that
Uh-huh.
helps us have some more hope. And, I'm sure that, as you said, things are going to get back on track, and I just think that we're still suffering. They said in New York 51 children got blasted away over the weekend. Children, for going in the house and getting their phone chargers, or for little things that didn't even matter. The police are afraid to go into the districts where they need them. And so now it seems as if we are faced with a problem where everybody's rebelling in their own way, and the children, of course, are suffering. So I do believe that it'll get back on track, but it's a scary time. I want to say
It's
we have
going to
some
be
people in the
completely
room.
different. It's going to be a
Yes.
memorable decade.
We
They all had their thing. The '80s, the '90s. It's going to be a whole different era. But
yes.
it's going to become positive, though. It won't be, it's not the end of the world. It's just we have to think things differently, that's all, and go about things a little differently than we used to. But we will reinvent.
Right.
And it's like what you said, those people who are passionate and those people who are driven, they will always do well. They will always they'll find another way. They will. So don't give up.
Hmm.
Keep your ideas open, because you have to reconsider now how you're going to do it, and with the new situation, and how would we. It's sort of like we now have literally become a whole different world, so it's going to be different,
Hmm.
so we have to think things differently, so it should be interesting.
Yes, I'm hoping for the time again that the world can be one, as I know the world has had a lot of issues with country to country and against, but I'm
Uh-huh.
hoping that eventually we can be less separatist and maybe be more in unity, because the virus is going to need a world get together, not separatism. And I think that that's going to be something we have to do. I want to say we
Uh,
have, and this is a funny name. It says, location, Earth, no message.
oh.
And then we have, we have
No
Sarah
message.
from North Carolina. No,
Oh,
no. So why don't we just give Earth another? Why don't you give him a reading anyway, and we'll
well,
just
let's
see what
see.
comes through.
Let's just see what's going on. North Carolina. Yeah, I know a few people out there. Yeah. Now, I just heard some static. Was that you, Anne Marie?
I was playing the video so I could watch the
Oh.
chat, and I had to turn off the sound.
Oh. Well, I
Your
do
hair
say
looks
the
very nice
past has
today, by the
been
way.
an unsettling for you. It has been a volatile period that you're coming off of. It's been tough. It seems like you've had so many responsibilities, so many things to do. You're being pulled into different directions, and it was just a real drag. And it does seem that it seems like it's a kind of situation that can cause you to have a physical accident that can be, dangerous. And this card, and for some reason, this card warns of accidents at sea or accidents with water.
Hmm.
It could be even say, now it's funny, but I'm thinking of, gee, did you like have an accident doing, if you've had an accident, say, with water sports this summer? I mean, something that can really kind of throw off a person. You could severely injure yourself. So
Yes, it
you've been
does.
So I do see that might have happened in the past. There might be something about that, but it's funny that that would be in that because that is a temperance, and it's turned upside down. And so it was a volatile time when accidents were likely to happen in your life. What really kind of fixed everything up. Kind of like what you call is made you more careful, you've learned to be more careful, hopefully, from that. I do see at the present time, as indicated by the Seven of Cups, I do see that if you had some structure and some planning and some more of a planned discipline in your self-discipline, working on schedules and keeping yourself together more, say balancing your checkbook, being on time, having your regular appointments. I do see that perhaps um, you need to deal with the reality of reality itself. It seems like you have a lot of good ideas, a lot of wishes, but they're not quite realistic, and I don't see them happening with this card in your present time. But that's okay. Daydreaming is good. Daydreaming is what inspires us. Just don't spend too much time on it. Try to take some of those ideas and actually make at least one of them possible if it's something that you'd really like. So focus on it. I do see that it's something that at some point, when you do decide to pick something, you will doubt your own judgment. At some point, you'll say, "Why am I doing this? I'm not skilled at this at all." And actually, that is a fear that a lot of people do have, even if they've been doing the same thing. Just there's times when a writer, an author, is writing a book and will suddenly think when he's looking or she is looking at her work, say, "Oh my God, this sucks. I can't write." This happens. Don't let that. So that's a warning. You might feel that way in the future, in the near future, when you do pick a project to
The
work on. But
self-critic.
don't let that. Yeah, don't let that. Don't let that freak you out, okay? Because it's really easy for that. It just something happens with the brain. It just kind of all of a sudden you really think, "Oh my God, what am I doing here? I have no business doing this," you know. But you're okay.
Mm.
Everyone feels that way at some point, and I have been there myself. So that's what I see for you, without really knowing what's going on. So,
Yeah.
what do you think, Anne Marie?
Well, I did a life path reading,
Oh, good.
and when I looked at the symbol to represent Earth, I came up with the hummingbird. And what it says about this unique person is that despite that they've been feeling, as you said, filled with the inner critic and feeling maybe a little invisible, to remember that hummingbirds have great journeys. And they're migrating between the north and central, and that they are gentle creatures that can be fiercely territorial, especially when it comes to protecting themselves or the people they love. So the hummingbird invites you to go on an epic journey, to bypass dung piles of self-criticism, and to head to the flowers of your self-promotion, self-communication, self-critic. Don't let the critic there. This is time for feeling good about yourself. And learn to trust the positive calling you hear, even though sometimes that critic can be even louder. Remember that sometimes even masters of great creative skills can be more bowled over by one no or one bad review than by 7 good reviews. So remember, you are the hummingbird, and though you may feel small and you may feel like your inner critic is at its most loud, go to a different flower and tune in on the positive that you know about yourself. And that's what I see. Goes pretty much in tune with yours, Joe.
That's cool. So I'd say there you go. I have one here. eMusic 96785. May I have a general reading, please? And
you
what
sure
I
can,
drew,
eMusic.
What I drew for eMusic 96785 is that in the past, this is somebody who has had a good reason to be proud of themselves because of things that were accomplished by hard work. I mean, you have really earned yourself pats on the back, and you've had lots of wins, which is really great. I am seeing at the present time, though, there is a trouble or difficulty with a strong-willed or opinionated or volatile sort of a woman. I don't know who she is. She is a queen, and she's the Queen of Pentacles, and she's upside down, which means that she's more, she's volatile, and she is somewhat at this time, for some reason, even though this person is capable of better, and usually was or may have been, this is somebody who's just really making things difficult and this is something that really takes a lot out of you. I'm seeing this as something, and what I'm seeing in the future here, we have temperance again, a temperance that's turned upside down, and that means that you have to be careful of allowing this situation to get more volatile. It shows here that it is something that might be beyond what you can handle yourself, and you may need to manage the situation before you lose control over it if you try to do it all yourself. You have to perhaps, it's too many responsibilities. So there's going to be you may have to make some decisions about this particular situation. If it is an individual that may need care, you may have to start looking at professional care. So where there is some, it could be something like that, or simply a bad relationship that is very demanding of you, and you're not getting much back in return. That's what I do see. So you may need to really rethink your priorities, and you have to be careful that you don't overextend yourself. I hope that tells you something. What do you think, Anne-Marie? Do you see anything for eMusic 96785?
When I did a life path reading for this person, their signature focus came up as the ghost dance, which is of the American Plains Indians, and it's about uniting the spirits of the living with those of the ancestors of the past to bring peace to the world. So it's important that this person remember to honor the ancestors of their past, and that by doing so, they will receive their lessons and gifts for beneficial results on their goals in the future. Your past lives and the past lives of your ancestors are all in your DNA. So the invitation for you is that your ancestors have a message of healing and a powerful medicine to offer you. They are asking you to create a sacred place in your house, to light a candle to them. Let their wisdom influence you on your goals in the future, and you will be overjoyed to step into the abundance that's offered to you and receive the gifts of your DNA, of your ancestors, to write a new life story for yourself. So if you feel trapped in a vicious cycle, quit mourning your lost youth or the opportunities that you missed. It's time to make that special place to your ancestors in your house. Collect a few photos, light some incense, offer sage, open the windows of your house to release them to their destiny and to the wind. And be very wary of being snared in a relationship with someone from a past lifetime, as the people that we loved that hurt us or that you have hurt have no business being in your memory right now. Okay? That's what I have.
Interesting. I like the past life. That's interesting. I love that past life addition, the focus.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it made me think about.
Okay.
I've heard of people having the same relationship with the same people, and different. They keep going back to the same person, and then it's a volatile relationship, and it goes on for different lifetimes. I don't know if you.
Well, how many? Right. And how many times do we all find ourselves gravitating towards repeat people in our lives, friends or lovers, that are exactly like the people that hurt us, but we still find ourselves gravitating towards what is familiar instead of trying to make a new life story.
We're trying to fix it, and we can't. So we keep going to the same ones, and we keep trying to fix that same one, and we can't do that. We have to move on and learn something else and meet somebody new. That's what we need to do.
That's right.
Well,
okay,
that's
we
really
have
cool.
Anita.
Who's next?
Anita, by the only phone is Anita. So then we have several in the reading room, and I'll have you keep an eye on the video, people.
Well, let's see. I'm looking at
Anita, how are you?
Hi, I'm stressed. I have, on my birthday on June 17th, my sister physically assaulted me, and I called the police.
Oh, dear.
My brother has done it multiple times in the home, and I hid it in the past. But when she did it, it was like, I've had an injury before, I'm disabled, I was in shock, and my family's mad at me. Now, I left. My brother's, he's moving things around. Saturday, my dad's like, oh my God, and they're in their 90s, my parents are, and they need assistance. And I'm trying to keep things calm. My dad says, oh my gosh, the basement's overflowing. And I just left. I said, I'm leaving, so I will be in touch. I said, I don't know what to do. I said, but I will communicate, and if you need me, here's my number. Call. Now, I called, I have an attorney who, my sister took my phone with her, and everything was on the phone, the whole thing, and took it and gave it to the police. And I don't want to hurt anybody, and I don't want to hurt her. I really don't want this stuff in my life. It's just too much. I'm too sensitive for that because I'm on disability. Everybody has problems, but
right.
I'm I really don't want that, and they're calling me names, and it's, my brother is calling me psychopaths moving next door, and it's, to me, in my mind, it's confusing my mom and dad. I don't know what they say to them, and I'm being not aware there, but it's getting bad. And I was told to go to Adult Protective Services. I was told, no, they're going to throw you out of the house. No, they're going to throw your parents out of the house. I just talked to an attorney. They said, who told you that? Call them. I don't know. I have so much evidence, but I haven't gotten it together because I was only trying to help my parents, and it seems like it's going the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's all I have to say because I stopped.
Yeah, I was just examining the cards and listening, and actually, it's a sad situation, and I do see that at the present time. I drew for the present time. I'm seeing here that there's a truce, or a truce is being encouraged here, represented by the Four of Swords. It's sort of like, okay, everybody just stop. It's not me that's saying that. It's sort of the Four of Swords here, and basically what I'm seeing here is that there's a pause here, and it's an end to one battle, and it's you're going to have a break in this fighting at the present time, and so during this time, the anxiety will start to go away. And what I'm seeing here is just a lot of anxiety. I mean, beforehand here, it's just I'm seeing. Yes, you wish it was different, and but you're not able to make you weren't able to make the changes to realistically to do anything about this. And I have heard this situation from you before, dear. So I know this is an ongoing thing, and I do see that it is going to be some time before it is resolved. That is what the cards say. What's indicated by this Four of Swords at the present time, it shows here that it's a good time for you to be alone with your thoughts at this time, okay? And mentally prepare for what's coming. Which, by the way, because of the volatile nature and the emotional nature of this, you're being cautioned to try not to escalate in the future, to really be careful. And also, I do see.
What does
Well,
escalate mean?
well, escalate means to raise it. Don't feed the anxiety. Like if somebody is getting tense, don't feed it. Don't feed an argument. Really don't do this. Even if somebody upsets you, don't getting into an argument is just going to throw you off track and off of the things that you guys all need to focus on. So you got to really watch your emotions. That's what this card is saying. You will work this out, but only if if you guys all work on your emotions. And I do see that otherwise, because of these emotions, you're always going to be fighting. You're never going to settle on anything, and you have to get past you have to, because they're always going to be challenging you. You're always going to have to face them otherwise. So there's just a lot of anger I'm seeing, and I have mentioned this before. I do see that really not enough time has passed for much to happen, because the situation is exactly the same as I heard it last month. Do you know what I mean? This is something that is going to take time to work out, and you all will work this out. But you do have to realize that attacking each other is not going to make it easier. You're just simply not going to solve anything because you'll be too busy fighting. Okay, and whether or not somebody's doing something wrong or illegal, it's if everybody's emotional and hitting each other, and no, you should not have been hit. If someone attacked you, but the thing is, people are upset with each other, and then we have the law enforcement being called into the matter, and it just is like I'm seeing at this present day to see this is needed at this time. Chill. And you're going to have to really, you may need to get professional advice here if this is such a volatile situation with your family members and it involves legalities. That's what the cards are saying. And they really haven't changed much since the last time. They really haven't. You notice that, don't you? It's almost virtually the same reading as it was last time. What do you think, Anne-Marie?
When I look at the life path symbol for you, Anita, it is stand still. And when it says when you get the stand still symbol, it is a symbol of pausing, the act of observation and breathing space. It represents the benefits of temporary non-action, as well as what happens, which is making you stuck. When things seem to stall or stagnate, or when you feel stuck, this symbol appears as a reminder that constant action isn't going to get you where you want to go. It's time to gather more information or just wait until the universe makes the next move. No matter what, this moment is a beautiful gift.
Okay, go ahead.
This moment is a beautiful gift orchestrated in your behavior, in your favor, Sometimes when we refuse to do things because we keep analyzing and analyzing and analyzing, the universe and our angels has a way of breaking bones, kicking the shit out of us, or doing things to have to make us forced to change our actions. So what your reading says is take the focus off whatever has caused you to stagnate. Life will get busy again sooner than you think.
I'm writing this. Force to change or action.
It says one of the things that you have done is gone into analysis paralysis, which means that you've gotten stuck in analyzing over and over and over, and it's causing you to stand still, to stagnate. And it's asking you to turn within, to breathe, and recognize this is a condition of the moment, and allows you the opportunity to witness or whatever is going on before movement resumes. It's also an opportunity to do an abortion to a project that is only going to cause you more damage.
Okay, wait, abortion project.
This is
Or to abort a product.
This is
a project, yeah.
Oh, well,
you can always play it back. You can always, yeah. You can play it back in the archive on YouTube. Definitely, you don't have to write it down.
So anyway, you need to pause, and you need to, like Joseph said, not feed into your emotions. Pause, and remember that if you continue to analyze what this person's going to do and what that person's going to do and what you're supposed to do and what they're supposed to do, you know what it does? You go into limbo. It causes you to go nowhere. So what it says is be very careful about a plan that you have to take action, because you may just find that it causes more harm than good. And that's what I see. Okay?
Okay, can I say something? I know.
We gotta go.
Do you have a phone number I can get a reading from you, Anne Marie?
What?
Do you have a phone
Oh
number
yeah,
I
she's
can
got.
get a reading from you?
If you want a reading with me, go to thecallingoflight.com.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Thecallingoflight.com. All right, let you go. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Take care.
Okay. So we have Sarah.
Hi,
Do we
Sarah.
have anybody in the video?
No,
Anybody new? Okay. So
no.
Sarah says, my job furloughed me for a month.
Oh,
And I see this as a firing. Can you see what the cards say the job name is? Well, it's Well Incorporated. Well Incorporated have furloughed her. What does this all mean?
okay. I'm going to do one card.
Okay.
Three of Swords. Oh, I do see emotions, hurt feelings. I'm thinking that maybe I don't know. This is something really odd. I'm having trouble with it. I'm going to draw another card actually because I don't think this is. That's just something that just
It
doesn't
may actually
seem.
be very, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't think it was. It was one of those things that kind of flipped funny when I. And sometimes I just don't know. I just don't know if it's just right. I do see that, with that card, however, I do see hurt feelings, and that is something that does happen on a job, but I don't know what the reason for that would be. But I do see here that we have a story building with the next card,
Okay.
because you are. I do see this again. What we have here is temperance turned upside down again, and this card keeps popping up as emotions. And I do see that this is something that, oh dear, um, like I do see that she's overextended and trying to, she's somehow she is overextended, or she's gonna be. And she's being warned of getting into arguments. Okay, I do see that maybe perhaps it's like going to be a lot. There's a lot going on. It's going to be very sudden, and I suppose maybe it's going to be a difficult start. That's what I'm seeing. It's going to be like, don't get emotional. You're just going to be really busy and just keep focused on the job, on the work. Do exactly what you're supposed to do, and don't get freaked out. That's basically what I'm seeing. So it's going to start off seeming like, oh my God, this sucks, but it's kind of necessary in order for this to really work out. Okay, Anne Marie, what do you think?
When I pulled a card on her, on Sarah, for her life path reading, it says, think of this all as the wind. Elements of air, and it rules communication, how you think, the songs you sing, and the ideas that inspire you. And it also signifies that you may need change, both positive and negative, Sarah. So the wind is blowing from each of the four directions. And whichever way the wind is blowing for you, the message which the wind is giving you is going to be a challenge. It may take courage to turn and face the wind. But you'll find that in moving toward it and receiving it as a lesson, Rather than fighting the wind, you actually come out ahead. So when the spirit of the wind comes calling, it's a sign of change. Maybe you need to change your mind about something. Maybe an old way of doing things has become automatic. And now you've gained greater clarity and you can make a new choice. Regardless of what the change is, Sarah, you can expect to be understood and to have clear communication with others at this time, whether it has to do with this or another one. But remember, ideas are solid, and the shift that is being called for in you and what things are happening to you, whether you get this job or don't, is for the highest good of your year. And that's what I have.
Cool.
Okay, we have Jan. Jan says, hi, Joseph and Anne-Marie. May I have a reading on any changes coming up at work in the next 3 weeks? You never give us much time, Jan. You always give us a limited, I barely see changes in 3 weeks, but,
3
whatever.
weeks, wow.
Okay, so so she likes those short time frames.
Oh, don't we all?
Yeah.
What result?
It'd
Now.
be nice.
Okay, I'm
now.
shuffling. It's shuffling. I'm doing it now. Oh, dear. Okay, well, what we got here, see, I'm going to go right to the present time. And what we got here, 21 plays prominently, because I got XXI and Roman numerals, and that is the world, and it's upside down. I'm seeing at this time, at this present time, there's a loss of energy. I do see that you might be feeling, like maybe you lost your place goal-wise, and maybe you're just simply off track. But I do see that, I don't know. I would have to say that this card is really telling you that maybe perhaps you're underestimating your own abilities. Because actually, I'm seeing it's more of a lack of confidence, and that's really the big problem at this time. And I do see that's probably a doubtful in yourself, in your abilities. And actually, I'm seeing here that the world is telling you, well, that's just in your head. Actually, you will be fine doing what you're doing. In the future, I do see that there's, let's see. I do see that physical needs, personal needs, will take precedence in the near future. I'd say, let's see, with 22, maybe by the 21st, I do see perhaps, let's see. No, I'm seeing maybe by the 13th. I'm seeing you being more focused on, say, your personal life and your physical needs and things like health and sex and your life. I do see that coming into focus in the near future. So let's see. Is it 3 weeks? I don't know. 13 days maybe. I do see that coming into. I do see like possible. This could possibly interfere with job. So don't let it. Okay. Don't let these indulgences that you might have in the near future get in the way of your job, or personal issues and personal needs, indulgences in other ways. Perhaps you like to spend a lot, or you like to go to the spa every week and have steam baths and all sorts of things that maybe these personal needs might interfere with money, finances, etc. So that's what I'm seeing. down the road. You're being cautioned of don't spend too much time on the good life, even though it feels really good. You're gonna go broke that way. That's what I'm saying. What do you think, Anne Marie?
Well, I want to say, Jan, that I mean no offense by the card that I pulled up for your life journey. It was
The birds,
the crow.
the crow.
Oh, and this is what the crow means. Crow is the keeper of universal law, the law of truth. And Crow teaches us to walk our talk, to find congruence between who we say we are and who we really know ourselves to be. So this winged one, the crow, insists that in the next 3 weeks you speak truth and that you create truth instead of searching for it, and that you bring truth to every situation you find yourself in the next 3 weeks. Are you true to your word? Crow arrives just as you have convinced yourself that what you are doing is right and justified. And while this may be the case, in the realm of relative truth, in the higher realm of absolute truth, it may not be. So look deeply into your heart. Pop, we need to go. All right. Joseph, I can't believe time went by so fast. What do
It
you
really
have for
did.
time?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just going to go phone from now on, and you can be the star of the show, because I really think you do well.
Well, if I know that in advance, I'll like wear big hats or maybe have movies in the background or something cool going on with lights or something to give people something else to look at.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like
Or have a
hair or
cartoon.
somebody changing your outfit every second, yeah. All right,
Yeah.
honey, well, say your
Like
little
Cher,
prayer
you
and
know.
let's go. Oh, okay, I guess we're going to go. Music's there. See you later, and see you
Okay,
next
take
week.
care. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yep.
Technology moves at the speed of innovation.